And Arizona Representative Gabrielle Giffords making her way to the House floor. The vote on her piece of legislation dealing with ultralight aircraft is next. It'll be her last bill as a member of the House. She's resigning effective today.
If any member wish to change their vote. On this vote, the yeas are 338, the noes are 70. Two-thirds being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended. The bill is passed. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. The House will be in order. If members could take their seats. For what purpose does the gentlelady from California rise?
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent to speak out of order.
Without objection, so ordered.
Mr. Speaker, all of us come to the floor today, colleagues of Congresswoman Gabby Giffords, to salute her as the brightest star among us, the brightest star Congress has ever seen. When she came to Congress and in her service and leadership here, Gabby Giffords brought to Washington and the Capitol the views of a new generation of national leader. From this floor, she has spoken out courageously and led boldly at times that demanded both. Since the tragic events of 1 year ago, Congresswoman Gifford has become an inspiring symbol of determination and courage to millions of Americans. She has brought the word dignity to new heights by her courage. Congresswoman Gifford's message of bipartisanship and civility is one that all in Washington and in the nation should honor and emulate. As Gabby said in her video, which moved us all so much this weekend, we can do so much more by working together. In that vein, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for the courtesies extended to enable this extraordinary ceremony to take place today. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And with your permission, I'd like to acknowledge Gabby's mother, who is with us today, Gloria, and her father, Spencer, who's watching from Tucson. Gloria, you're good. We thank you and we thank Commander Mark Kelly, a hero in his own right as an astronaut. A hero in his own right as an astronaut and a commander of a mission, but also our personal hero for the care and love that he has given to Gabby over this past year. Oh, and before that, to help make her, as Gloria and Spencer have, the person that she is. I think all of our colleagues join in thanking you, Gabby, for the honor of calling you colleague and wishing you and Mark much happiness and success. You will be missed in the House of Representatives, but your legacy in this Congress and your leadership in our nation will certainly endure. So thank you for being who you are, for lifting our country at a very important and sad time, and we wish you again much success. With great gratitude, admiration, and affection, we salute you, Congresswoman Gabby Giffords. The gentleman seek recognition. Now my privilege to yield the floor to the distinguished Majority Leader of the House, Representative Cantor.
I thank the Leader. And Mr. Speaker, a little more than a year ago, America witnessed a heinous attack on Congresswoman Gabby Giffords, her staff, and the citizens of Tucson. This attack took 6 innocent lives, including Gabe Zimmerman's, injured 13, and shook all of us in the congressional community and, in fact, our nation to its core. This attack was a stark reminder that even in this country, where freedom of speech and public demonstration are the cornerstones of our democracy, citizens and public officials can face violence and danger. We will never forget those who lost their life on that fateful day, or the brave efforts of our law enforcement, community members, and a very special intern who responded in the emergency. And Mr. Speaker, I know I speak for all of my colleagues when I say we are inspired, hopeful, and blessed for the incredible progress that Gabby has made in her recovery. Gabby's courage, her strength, and her downright fortitude are an inspiration to all of us and all Americans. As Gabby leaves the House today, Mr. Speaker, she's decided to focus her energies on recovery. But she has refused to give up her fight for the people of her beloved Arizona and her country. And as such, today, we will vote on her legislation to help secure our nation's southwestern border. Gabby's bill gives law enforcement greater authority to penalize those who seek to do us harm by engaging in illegal activity along the border. I commend Gabby for her commitment to work on this and her unwavering commitment to a safer, more secure America. For the past 6 years, Congresswoman Gabby Giffords has served Arizona's 8th District with dedication and dignity. I want to recognize her accomplishments here and thank her staff and their exceptional service, dedication, and yes, courage during these difficult times. Mr. Speaker, I especially want to recognize her Chief of Staff, Pia Carasone. I know, having met with Pia personally, her having worked with our office, she has demonstrated incredible dedication to her coworkers, to you, Gabby, and Mr. Speaker, she has demonstrated unparalleled leadership for the people of the 8th District of Arizona. And to that, I know they are, and we are very grateful. On Sunday, Mr. Speaker, I received a call from Captain Mark Kelly, as we all know, Gabby's husband, who informed me of Gabby's decision. Mark has been steadfast in his support of his wife and forever by her side as her best friend and partner. Though Gabby may be leaving Washington today, I know this won't be the last we see of her or Mark. We wish you, Gabby, we wish Mark together the best as they continue the process of Gabby's recovery. And I'll say once again, Mr. Speaker, Congresswoman Gabby Giffords' strength against all odds serves and will continue to serve as a daily inspiration to all of us. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I yield back.
Gentlelady from California.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thank the leader and am now pleased to yield to Gabby's friend, the distinguished Minority Whip of the House, Congressman Hoyer.
I thank the leader for yielding. I thank the Speaker for ensuring that we would have this opportunity to speak to our friend Gabby Giffords. I thank the Majority Leader for his comments. None of us on this floor are talented enough to summon the rhetoric that all of us feel in our hearts. We have young men and women arrayed on the fields in Iraq, Afghanistan, and other troubled spots in the world. They are fighting for freedom and democracy. And too many of them are injured on those fields. Our beloved colleague, Gabrielle Giffords, was injured on the field in the exercise of that democracy. And in being injured, she has become an example for us, for all Americans, indeed all the world, of courage, of clarity of purpose, of grace, of responsibility, of a sense of duty, which she exercises this day. I love Gabby Giffords. I was honored when she first ran for office, before she was elected, to go to her district, as I have done for so many others in this country, to stand by her side, to walk down the streets of her community with her, to see in her the beauty not only of person. Many of us see the outward visage of us all. But Gabby's beauty is in the heart, in the soul, in the spirit. The House of Representatives of America has been made proud by this extraordinary daughter of this House, who served so well during her tenure here, who felt so deeply about her constituents and cared so much for her country. Gabby, we love you. We have missed you. Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether you were able to hear that response as Gabby looked with that extraordinary smile, the twinkle in her eyes, as she said to me and to all of us, "And I miss you." Do any of us doubt that that is the case? Pia, we are blessed in this House to be served by extraordinary people, of which you are a perfect example, of people who love us but love their country even more, who serve our constituents so extraordinarily well, who evidence every day care for us and care for the work that we do, which we could not do, Pia, without people like yourself and all of your colleagues that we call staff. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, God has blessed Gabrielle Giffords, and He has sent a blessing to all of us in the person of Gabrielle Giffords. And God blessed Gabby as well with an extraordinary mom and dad and an extraordinary partner in life. Mark, we owe you a debt of gratitude. Our country owes you a debt of gratitude. I look forward to the day when you and Gabby will be returning here, return to full health and full ability to serve. Gabby, America thanks you. It thanks you for the example that you have given of overcoming adversity and doing so with a spirit unparalleled. God bless you and Godspeed.
Not yet. Mr. Speaker, I know that every member in the House would like to associate himself or herself with the remarks of our distinguished Majority Leader and Democratic Whip, especially in regard to Gabby, of course, but also Pia. It is something that every day we have the chaplain or the guest chaplain come to the floor and ask God's blessing on this House. God, as Mr. Hoyer said, one of those blessings to us has certainly been the leadership and the life and service that will continue for many years to come of Congresswoman Gabby Giffords. We focus on her. She is our friend. We look at her remarkable recovery with great pride. She also carries in her need for recovery the sorrow of so many others who lost their lives today. So the apparent physical recovery that we see is something even more than we could ever imagine for the challenge that Congresswoman Giffords has faced. God gave her a very special mission. He gave it to Gabby Giffords because he knew she could carry that burden, because he had blessed her with so many, many gifts and a very loving family to make her the person that she is. How fortunate we have all been to be part of her life till now, and hopefully for a long time to come. She will miss us. So now it is with very mixed emotions, Mr. Speaker, that I yield to Gabby's very good and close friend. I say mixed emotions because we want her to stay with us. Intellectually, no, Gabby has made the right decision. Hopefully it will be liberating for her in many ways, but that she goes without knowing the close ties we all feel personally to her. And so, Mr. Speaker, it is my honor to yield the floor now to a very close friend of Gabby, a leader in this House, Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
The gentlelady from Florida is recognized.
If I can ask my colleagues to join me at the well. Thank you, Mr. Speaker and Madam Leader, Mr. Whip and Majority Leader. I couldn't prepare anything this morning because I knew that I would not be able to hold it together very long. I am so proud of my friend, and it will always be one of the great treasures of my life to have met Gabby Giffords and to have served with her in this body. We have all been through such a tumultuous year. The nation has been through a tumultuous year. No one more tumultuous than Gabby and her family and her constituents in her beloved home city of Tucson, Arizona. And I know, being able to be Gabby's voice today, that knowing her as well as I do, that the one thing that has not been said is that Gabby wants her constituents to know, her constituents who she loves so much in southern Arizona, that it has been the greatest professional privilege of her life to represent them, that she loves them as a fifth-generation Tucsonian, that her public service has meant a great deal to her, and that this is only a pause in that public service, and that she will return one day to public service to represent them as she has so capably for the last 5.5 years. And let me just say a point of personal privilege that for the last year it has been one of the honors of my life and the most important thing to remember, that no matter what we argue about here on this floor or in this country, there is nothing more important than family and friendship. And that should be held on high above all else. And I will always carry that in my heart. And even though I know we won't see each other every day, Gabby, we will be friends for life.
Yes.
For life.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry. It's my privilege to read this letter on behalf of Gabby and her family and her constituents. January 25th, 2012, the Honorable John Boehner, Speaker of the House of Representatives. Dear Speaker Boehner, in 2001, strongly holding the belief that there is no higher calling than serving my country, I went from selling tires in my Tucson family business to being a freshman representative in the Arizona State House. And for 10 years, I served in the Arizona legislature, in the United States Congress, and after marrying Mark, as a proud military spouse. Always I fought for what I thought was right, but never did I question the character of those with whom I disagreed. Never did I let pass an opportunity to join hands with someone just because he or she held different ideals. In public service, I found a venue for my pursuit of a stronger America by ensuring the safety and security of all Americans, by producing clean energy here at home instead of importing oil from abroad, and by honoring our brave men and women in uniform with the benefits they earned. I found a way to care for others. And in the past year, I have found a value that is unbreakable even by the most vicious of attacks. The tragic January 8th shooting in Tucson took the lives of 6 beautiful Americans and wounded 13 others, me included. I'm sorry. Not a day goes by that I don't feel grief for the lives lost and so many others torn apart. Christina Taylor Greene, Dorothy Morris, John Roll, Phyllis Schneck, Dorwin Stoddard, and Gabe Zimmerman embodied the best of America. Each in their own way, they committed their lives to serving their families, community, and country, and they died performing a basic but important act of citizenship that's at the heart of our greatness as a nation. They will be remembered always by their country and by their Congress. I don't remember much from that terrible day, but I have never forgotten my constituents, my colleagues, or the millions of Americans with whom I share great hopes for this nation. To all of them, thank you for your prayers, your cards, your well wishes, and your support. And even as I have worked to regain my speech, thank you for your faith in my ability to be your voice. The only way I ever served my district in Congress was by giving 100%. I would add it's 150. This past year, that's what I have given to my recovery. Thank you for your patience. From my first steps and first words after being shot to my current physical and speech therapy, I have given all of myself to being able to walk back onto the House floor this year to represent Arizona's 8th congressional district. However, today I know that now is not the time. I have more work to do on my recovery before I can again serve in elected office. This past year, my colleagues and staff have worked to make sure my constituents were represented in Congress. But if I can't return, my district deserves to elect a U.S. representative who can give 100% to the job now. For that reason, I have submitted the attached letter of resignation to Arizona Governor Jan Brewer. Amid all that was lost on January 8th, there was also hope and faith. This past year, it is what I have often clung to. Hope that our government can represent the best of a nation, not the worst. Faith that Americans working together in their communities, in our Congress, can succeed without qualification. Hope and faith that even as we are set back by tragedy or profound disagreement, in the end we come together as Americans to set a course toward greatness. Every day I am working hard. I will recover and will return, and we will work together again for Arizona and for all Americans. Sincerely, Gabrielle Giffords, Member of Congress.
Mr. Speaker, in appreciation once again for your courtesies enabling this to happen, I yield back the balance of our time.
Gentlelady yields back the balance of her time. The chair would remind all members to be in proper business attire when you come to the floor of the House. Without objection, 5-minute voting will continue. The unfinished business is the vote on the motion of the